Uh, Nectarine, blueberry, Bang Energy. This is delicious. How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope that you guys are all having a spectacular day. If you guys would, please give this video a thumbs up. If you guys do enjoy it, subscribe, of course, if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, make sure you guys hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on the channel. As always, if you guys would also head over to Twitch, follow me there at Douglas447. Stream there at least once a week, whether it's Halo, Battlefield, Call of Duty, or anything else you guys suggest for me to stream over there. Also, if you guys have any movies or shows you guys want me to cover here on the channel, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I will get to those as soon as possible. And we're going to be doing something a little differently. Normally, I talk just straight up positives and negatives about a film, whether that's a newer movie here out recently or a film that has been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But we are going to be talking about, of course, The Iron Giant. And I got to be honest with you guys, I'm kind of shocked that I haven't discussed this film here on my channel at all. It kind of shocks me. I was looking through my film collection history and my films playlist, and I'm just like, I've never talked about The Iron Giant. And it's kind of a shocker. And as we are now officially in its 25th anniversary, I figured, okay, I have to make a video. I was going to put this out a lot later, but I figured, okay, I got to talk about it, got to get this video out as soon as possible for you guys. Not only is it the 25th anniversary, but in celebration of that, I would highly encourage you guys, check your local movie theaters. At least mine is doing a rerun of The Iron Giant in celebration of the fact that it's been out for 25 years. And when you think about it, it's a long time for a movie to be out, and people still talk about it. I mean, this is a film that I grew up watching over and over and over again. It is definitely one of my childhood films that I watched a lot of, and I've almost got the movie memorized. I'm not going to do that in this video for the sake of your guys' sanity, but still, I grew up watching this movie a lot. And surprisingly, even though this film came out in 1999, when it did release, it actually flopped. It did not make its money back at all. This movie bombed so badly when it was released. And the reason being is, well, two things to be honest. Well, let's be honest, it's three things, okay? First of all, it came out in 1999. For anybody that is too young to understand what I mean by when I say it came out in 1999, a lot of people were afraid that when the calendar year went from 1999 to 2000, the world was going to end. So you had that going against the movie. Second of all, it was an animated film by people that were not really well known. It was an animated movie released not by Disney and not by any other major studio at the time. And while it had some big name actors behind it, like Vin Diesel, it was an animated movie where people behind it were not really well known. So nobody knew exactly what they were going in to expect. And thirdly, marketing. This movie was not marketed properly. It didn't get enough buzz word coming out for people to go and see it. You know, nowadays we have it where we live in a gigantically social media filled environment where you'll watch the exact same trailer for the exact same movie at least 15, 20, 25 times on YouTube. And it's not like you're wanting to, it's just the companies that are in control of the movie, that are, pushing out the movie, They push it onto YouTube. They're pushing it out onto TikTok, if that's still a thing by the time this video comes out. Um, they're still pushing it on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It gets pushed out constantly. It's also getting pushed out constantly on things like your streaming service or cable. So it just didn't get that push of trailers flooding you on your phone, okay? It didn't happen. And when trailers were coming out, they were coming out on things like cable. Who watches cable anymore? If you do, congratulations. But we didn't have a gigantic push and messaging being shot out for people to go see this film. Now, I think this film is still good. I've seen it. The first time I saw it, I was like, this is a masterpiece. It's a classic. It's a great science fiction film. And I want to talk about 5 reasons why. And you might be thinking, wait a minute, the Texas Man isn't going to be talking negative about a movie for once? He's not going to be complaining? Mike Wazowski. In case you're watching this. Seriously though, I do try not to whine and complain on the channel. I just try to point out the positives and negatives of a film and discuss them in a intelligent manner. So I'm sorry if that bothers some people, and some people are like, oh, you're just being so toxic and negative and you're constantly complaining. I'm sorry, but welcome to the internet, I guess. If that bugs you so much, get off the internet. But anyway, so first thing I want to talk about is the villain of this movie. And the villain of any movie, whether it's The Iron Giant or any other film that you watch or show that you watch or game that you play and you're trying to defeat, a villain is a very key component of good storytelling. And I think the villain in this film is one of the best movie villains of all time. I would put the agent that's working for the government up there in the top 5 spots. Obviously, Darth Vader would be really number 1. But the villain of this film definitely is one of the best movie villains I've ever seen in any film. Not because, and I don't mean just animated, I mean just villain of a movie. Even though it's an animated movie, I think this character was written spectacularly. I mean, let's just think about it. Kent, as a villain, as an agent, working for the government, and being sent into Rockwell, and he's paranoid. And that kind of leads into the next thing, is the time period. The time period of this film is obviously the Cold War. And we're dealing with Sputnik, and we're dealing with space exploration, and everyone's, doing the whole, if the bombs come down, hunker down. Sorry, I couldn't help that one. But, you got all those silly things that people thought that hiding on, people in school thought hiding under your desk was going to protect you from a nuclear bomb. I mean, I guess it could work. I mean, Indiana Jones in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull went inside of a refrigerator and he survived a nuclear blast in that film. So I guess, ducking under a plank of wood and some metal bars would protect you from a nuclear blast inside of your school too. So who am I to say how, logic works? But in all seriousness, back to the villain. Kent is paranoid. And you see that constantly in the film, is that, he wants to protect America. He wants to protect his nation's interests. He wants America to be safe, not just from internal threats, but of course from alien threats. And you see that constantly throughout the film, that he's paranoid. And while he is paranoid and his intentions are good, how he goes about collecting the information and what his ultimate goal is in the end of the movie makes him a villain. Like, you can have good intentions, but your final outcome does determine if you're the hero or the villain. And unfortunately, he is a villain. While he thinks the Iron Giant is some sort of massive destructive force that needs to be annihilated before it takes out America and the rest of the world, he doesn't understand the Iron Giant is just an alien that accidentally crashed. Didn't mean to. It's not trying to, cause destruction and mayhem. But he is so centered on the paranoia in his head that this alien creature, this Iron Giant, is going to just wipe out humanity. And so you can sympathize with him because you can relate to him. You understand where he's coming from. You kind of almost root for Kent as the character, as the villain. You kind of root for him because you can sympathize. You can kind of understand where he's coming from. And you kind of want him to succeed. But at the same time, you don't, because his ultimate end goal is philosophically wrong, which is just perfect. And that's why I think his character works well as a villain. Like I said, also, secondly, the time period works well. Dealing with the Cold War era is always great to see. I don't think we get a lot of those movies or shows. And so that's why I really enjoyed that as well. Third thing I want to talk about as to why I think this movie is so great is the characters. Every single character in this movie, whether they're a main character or they're a side character in this movie, they serve a purpose. There is a reason why they're in the movie. Even if it's just like the general that's giving orders and whatnot, he serves a purpose. There is a logic behind why he's there on screen. There is a chain of command. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Sneezing like crazy. There's a chain of command within the military structure, and we see that in the film. When the general says, do this and do that, and everyone's relaying the orders, making sure the orders are correct, and everyone's following the orders without question. So it's really great to see that. Every single character has a purpose on screen. I will say not every single character in this film has an arc. Some characters are very one-dimensional, like the mom. Very one-dimensional. She's like, oh my goodness, my child, help him, he's being taken away by an alien monster, help. And it's not like the finale for the last 2 minutes does she realize, hey, he was right, he wasn't lying, he's not paranoid, he's not delusional, my son actually is friends with a gigantic alien monster that is peaceful. Wow, shocking. So there are some one-dimensional characters, but I can look past it and understand, hey, this movie came out in 1999. That's the best time for, characters. LOL. Fourth thing I want to talk about is the theme. There are obviously a lot of themes. Obviously, the most important one is friendship. And there's obviously a bunch of callbacks and references and Easter eggs to other past films that we've gotten that are very similar in this type of genre, such as E.T. But I think the biggest theme that this film focuses on is not just friendship and, the bond that has on people, but I think the theme that is very underseen when it comes to watching this movie is to have all of the facts, not feelings, not emotions, not, oh, you're hurting me, I don't like you. No, fuck that. I'm sorry, but get away from me, you emotional, heartbreaking wrench of a person. Grow up. I think the theme, though, in this film, in all seriousness, is to have all the facts before you act. Let me say that again. Have all of your facts before you act. What I mean by that is, do your investigation, which is what Kent, the villain, attempts to do in this movie, which is why you can sympathize with this paranoia in protecting America's interest. See how all of this is connecting? He's trying to do fact-finding and understand what is going on with the Iron Giant and what is causing all this mayhem and whatnot before he actually ever finds the Iron Giant. He's trying to fact-collect. He's trying to gain knowledge and whatnot. But he goes into the acting mode. He goes into, we need to destroy this thing, without understanding why the Iron Giant is doing what it's doing and why did it crash, and what is its purpose, and how is it trying to not be a gigantic destructive force. And so it is a film where it's a lesson where we need to learn, hey, not everything that we don't understand is out to annihilate America or humanity. And not everything in the galaxy is trying to be evil, destructive, and annihilate the human race. So, there you go. And then, fifthly and lastly, because I want to wrap this video up, it's getting way too long. The fifth thing I want to talk about is this movie makes you cry. Okay? At the time of recording this video, I'm 29. I've seen this movie so many times, and every single time we get to that gigantic, epic battle finale where the Iron Giant gets blasted and then he sacrifices himself to save the town from the nuke, it still brings a tear to my eye. Because he's sacrificing himself, not just for the greater good, but to protect his friends and to protect also his enemies. So that is why, guys, I think The Iron Giant from 1999 is a cinematic masterpiece. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, I highly encourage you guys to do so. You can get it on DVD and Blu-ray and digital stores as well. And if and when they finally decide to make it on 4K, I plan on getting it because I think it is a gem. It's a classic movie. Highly encourage you guys to check it out. You will not be disappointed. And the great thing is, it's only about 80 minutes long. Thank you guys so much for watching. 10 out of 10. Have a good one. Bye, guys. Oh.